Hi guys, it's Vivi at Home Rights, and today's episode is going to be more geared towards my own experiences. Everybody's doing kind of a special Valentine's Day episode, whether it's romance writing or something like that. I'm just going to tell you a couple stories and see if we can bond. Start out with my very first that I can remember Valentine's Day as a teen, where I got to be in charge of how I celebrated. So this story starts out with I think I was like 15 or 16, and I had my best friend, and another friend who ended up being one of my best friends, but we were still pretty new as friends at the time, and we really bonded over this experience. So it starts out where my girlfriend and I, Steph, were talking originally about having Valentine's dinner together. Because we were both single. She had just broken up with her boyfriend, and I was a hopeless romantic, always watching the guys I liked across the campus and never really approaching anybody, so daydreaming about my epic love someday. And so she and I decided we were going to do Valentine's dinner together. We were going to go to a fancy restaurant, we were going to dress up, and one of our friends from my drama class, Arlene, had overheard us and was like, hey, can I join in? And we were like, yeah! We were all kind of becoming best friends anyway, so it was the perfect way for us to bond and get together as a group of girls and go out for dinner. So we had saved up our own money, we were gonna get dressed up, do our hair and makeup, and go out. So that Valentine's Day, I believe it might have been a Saturday, but I think it was a Friday, because I remember being at school during the day. And so that Valentine's Day came, and we had this plan, this epic plan. We were going to get dropped off, and we were going to go do this thing. And my mother had been married to this guy who she's no longer married to. They divorced pretty quickly after this. He wasn't very nice. But he had a long-lost son that ended up coming to live with us that year. And this kid was about mine and my brother's age, right in between us, and he was kind of I didn't really like him. He was kind of a pest. And so that dinner, we're getting dressed to go, and my mother goes, why don't you take your stepbrother? And I'm like, but why? I was like, but it's Valentine's Day. This is our girls' Valentine's Day. Like, come on. I think we invented the term Galentine's Day, but not really. So she ended up insisting, and he ended up coming with us, and we had done all this girly stuff and gotten ready, and then we have to go take him with us to the mall, and he's tagging along, and he's being a little pain in the butt, and it was very annoying. So we, I think we went to this Mexican restaurant we really liked at our mall, and we all hung out, and we walked the mall really late, and then the whole time we're just like, me and Steph were grumbling because Arlene and he were kind of chatty, and it was supposed to be girls only. And so then we eventually go back home, and they were going to spend the night, and we did like a girls' late night up by the pool, like gather around and talk, and we decided we were going to start a journey into becoming witches. And we got candles, and we made a circle around, a little sit in the circle pool near our pool, and we like totally started that whole thing. And we did stuff like that for like a whole year. Neither of them will remember it anymore, I'm sure, but at the time we thought we were so cool. So that was our first little excursion into girl womanhood. We are empowered, and I'm never gonna let a guy take over my date again. So that was my very first my choice Valentine's Day. Okay, so my very first uber romantic Valentine's Day was kind of cliche. It was with my first boyfriend. Was my only boyfriend besides my husband. And we did a fancy romantic dinner on they're called the Hornblower Cruises cruise ship with it was my boyfriend and me, and my sister's boyfriend at the time ended up being her husband. We all went together on the Hornblower cruise together. That's it. It was just kind of super cliche and super what you would think of romance filled. It was so over the top, and I hadn't had that before. So I'm gonna go on to number 3, which is my husband and my first Valentine's Day. So we got together in 2003, January, actually the very first week in January. We were already dating. We had started dating basically right away from when we met. And so Valentine's Day is about a month later, and we kind of were, I want to say we were being told not to date. He was my cousin's best friend, and my cousin was a little irritated that we were flirting with each other and dating each other. And so we were told, you can't be together, blah, blah, blah. And so we were kind of doing like the secret notes and messages kind of thing. We were definitely seeing each other, but we had to keep our romantic stuff to ourselves, obviously. So I got up one day to head off to college, and I go to my car, and sitting on the windshield of my car is this fluffy, cute little teddy bear with a little handwritten note. It was like a little envelope with handwritten long letter of just super romantic stuff. And I think he had done one of those wax seals on it too, which was really pretty. And it was like an invite to come have dinner with him, just us. And it was super romantic. And I still have the teddy bear. Actually, my kids have it in their bed. My oldest daughter just handed it down to the baby, so it's in her bed right now. So yeah, that was our very first Valentine's Day. Oh, honey, she's coughing. So our most silly Valentine's Day was a couple years later. We're college students, pretty poor, not really doing a whole lot, living on our own for the first time together. So I decide I'm going to make him this super fancy dinner. And he's in college on a Saturday, so he was going to come home. And at the time, where we were living was like an hour away from where his college was, so I had plenty of time. I went shopping. I was on the phone with my best friend Steph, shopping for these fancy ingredients, because I was gonna make I think it was like lobster bisque and baked salmon and like super fancy dessert and all this stuff. And he comes home, and his present to me is he made me cardboard roses. He worked at a sign shop at the time, and he printed out and laminated and made this big, huge, fancy cardboard rose bouquet. And then I got a little card with these little pretty diamond earrings, which was pretty sweet. I mean, not real diamonds, but because we were poor college kids. But it was, to me, super romantic that even though he couldn't afford anything fancy and didn't have time to stop and get flowers, that he made the roses at his sign shop. So that was pretty silly and sweet. And then I made him this giant fancy meal, and so that was our most silly Valentine's together. So our Valentine's Day tradition, now that we have kids, so we had our eldest daughter in 2008, so we've been doing this for over 10 years now. And with each new kid, our Valentine's Day cards multiply, it seems. So he buys the kids a card, or at the time, the one kid a card, and I buy the one kid a card. And then we usually buy each other a card. And then there's usually some sort of joint chocolate going around. We usually have bubbly and chocolate-covered strawberries, which was another one of our things from one of our first Valentines that we had. And that's it. We just express how much we love each other and how much we love the kids. And so every year their little cards go into a box where I keep all the cards. So now as they're older, they get cards too. So we have 10 cards This year is going to be funny because everybody's going to get the baby a card. Everybody's going to get each other a card. It's going to be quite fun. So that is our Valentine's Day tradition as a family. Now, our best Valentine's Day present to each other, all in the 16 years we've been together, has been this past year. 2 days late, I had our third baby. And so when we found out that we were expecting her, and I did the math, her due date was Valentine's Day. And I was so excited. I was like, this is the culmination of our relationship. You know, we have never been able to be super romantic with each other, but we have a baby born on Valentine's Day, so I thought that was super special. And then the little punk decided she was going to be 2 days late. She just kept hanging on. So anyway, that is our, so far in 16 years, our best Valentine's Day present to each other is our little sweets. She is gonna be, in 4 days, she's gonna be a year old, and I'm gonna cry immensely because she's probably our last baby, and she is the sweetest thing in the world and makes me want to have a billion more. But she's gonna be a year, and then she's gonna start walking, and then I'm never gonna be able to keep up. So so she is our best Valentine's Day present so far. And I just wanted to do this silly, fun, lovey Valentine's Day video for you guys. Let me know what your best Valentine's Day presents are and how you enjoy Valentine's Day over the years. And don't forget to click the link to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.